Now, let me quickly hand it over to Naveen to take the session forward and introduce our panel.
Yes, thank you so much, Shalini, for that. And yeah, straight away, let's dive into the first panel session with the moderator of the panel being Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, hello.
Thank you so much there, Mr. Ibrahim, for joining in. And yes, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Yes, good morning, all. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Ibrahim Krishan. I'm global head of privacy, data protection, internal control, and international compliance in QNB, Qatar National Bank. I have around 22 years of experience in compliance, risk, and internal control and internal audit function. I work in audit firm in banking industry and sector. Uh, I have around 5 years experience in Qatar, around 1 year or 2 years experience in Kuwait, 3 years in KSA, and around 10 years in Jordan. All of my experience, as you notice, it's related to compliance, risk management, and now data protection. And I see that there is a link between the digital transformation, okay, and data protection. I think it's uh, apart from digital transformation and data protection. The relationship between both, it's very strong, to be honest, because at the end of the day, digital transformation is the integration of digital technology into all areas of the business. It's a result in a more efficient way in how businesses operate, including streamlining procedures and you're reducing manual tasks, if we can say. Some, some of the benefits of digital transformation are enhanced data collection. Like successful digital transformation allows better data collection, which improve and where business opportunities exist. Efficient management, if we can say, digital transformation enables data to comply in one central hub, therefore making it easier to manage the operation and reduce efficiency. Uh, as a maybe we can add one more related to increase profits. Like statistics show 80% of the organization that completed digital transformation reports and increase in profits. And also regulator relationship. The regulator are focusing on digital transformation strategy. As you know, guys, I'm handling the regulatory compliance department here in QNB, and I can tell you that the relationship with the regulator focusing more and asking more and more about the digital transformation, the strategy of the bank, the strategy of the institution. For example, QCB here in Qatar put it in place a strategy to support the through of financial technology. QCB, I mean Qatar Central Bank, okay, where they see fintech as a key to long-term financial services and success. We have to take in consideration that during the COVID-19 pandemic, the challenges faced by organizations showed a greater importance in focusing a digital transformation as well. As with any transformation, there are also challenges. A key from my, in fact, I believe that a key part of digital transformation is data contribution and data analysis. These must be efficiently managed and controlled, put it in place. Furthermore, I believe a strong digital transformation should ensure, and there is a strong data protection framework in place. Because as you know, I'm handling data protection project and function here in QMB. In Qatar, let's say Qatar law number 13, data privacy, provides a background of key requirements that every organization should put it in place. That includes creating record of processing activity. It's called ROPA, ensuring that organizations know where their data is stored and how it's proceed and which jurisdiction they are, ensures all data is captured and utilized effectively. And I know that in Kuwait as well, there is a data protection law in place as well, and it's a proposed data protection law, and they are in the process to finalize the data protection law and the requirement, regulation, circulars regarding to data protection. That being said, I'm delighted to introduce to you our panelists who will discuss further in depth the challenges and changes and transformation in the I tried to be honest, to summarize, because I will give the opportunity to my colleague as well. Let me introduce Mr. Nadeem Khouri. He is the Information Technology Business Development Manager in Eurocross. We have also Mr. Bashar Abdelhadi. He is the founder and Chief Technology and Innovation Officer in KuwaitNet. And I don't know if Mr. Faheem Ali with us or no. Mr. Faheem?
He is here, Mr. Ibrahim.
Okay, excellent. Mr. Faheem, he's an expert financial fintech and digital transformation. And let me start with Mr. Nadeem. Mr. Nadeem, let me ask you to introduce yourself first.
Sure. Well, my name is Nadeem Shwairi. I'm the IT manager and business development manager at Eurocross MENA.
Shwairi. I'm sorry, Shwairi, not Khouri. Shwairi, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
So we are basically an assistance company who deals with TPAs, and the main activity we do is follow up on beneficiaries all around the world when they are abroad. We deal with TPAs and insurer companies, so they basically outsource us so we can serve their clients, and we operate in a white label manner. This way we make sure that the beneficiary is comfortable talking to its insurance company.
Oh, well, okay. Nadeem, let me ask you a question, but if we can start. Sure. What are the techniques used to overcome those challenges and make the transformation work?
Yeah, so basically we did a very interesting digital transformation lately by developing a new ERP system that can make the follow-up and the contact with the beneficiary very agile and very accurate. So basically what we faced are two main things, to be honest. It's the staff resistance. I mean, when we shifted to this digital technology, we had the staff resistance. They didn't want any change because they were worried about the complexity of the system and maybe losing their jobs, etc. And the second thing is, as you said at the beginning, one main thing is the data protection. Yes. So we had to make sure that because the information we deal with is medical at some point, and we have to make sure that it's very well protected. Because we have information about the beneficiaries, everything about them. So those were the main challenges for us, and we had to put in place some kind of strategy to make sure that the transformation is efficient and well put in place. And one of the mistakes we fell into, to be honest, is that we focused a lot on the end product, and we forgot about the state of mind of our employees. So we were really focused on the features and the options and the performance of the machine and the system we are implementing, and we didn't take care enough of the staff. So this was alarming, thank God, at the beginning. So we were able to work on that by introducing like new tips for the staff to accept this change and be able to promote it in their jobs and make their jobs more efficient. So, and same goes with the data protection, because as you know, as you increase the protection, the access to the data is harder for the users. So we had to see how we can like put an average or equalize what can be protected.
Or manage.
Yeah, we had to balance, exactly. And this is not easy, to be honest, because we had many parties involved. We had the management, we had the medical team, we had the audit, we had the assistance coordinator dealing with the customers, and they had to provide them with data. So doing that was very challenging for us, to be honest.
I think, Nadeem, based on your experience, I think you managed a lot of projects regarding to IT projects and also data protection, maybe, or digital transformation. What exactly the main challenges you faced through or when you implement this project? What's the main challenges you believe that it's you faced during the project?
To be honest, it's not technical. The challenges were not technical, because I used to implement projects, and unlike what people think, I mean, if you do something new, a new technology, the technology itself is difficult. It is difficult, but it's not the main challenge you face as an implementer or an integrator in the business. It's the staff. So you have to make sure you involve the staff in a way that will make them accept and adopt this new technology. By I mean, there are many ways doing that. I mean, one of the things is that you have to create some kind of story telling them that, listen, if you want to perform better, if you want to learn new skills, if you want to minimize the margin error you have in your job and make yourself more efficient, you have to adopt this new technology or this new system. Another way, which was very efficient, is including them in the process. I mean, for example, in this transformation, we had many aspects of transformation. We have the IT, we had the audit, we had the accounting, and we had the management itself. So in order for us to make this process move forward and minimize the resistance, we had to include them in the process. So we said, listen, what are your challenges as a doctor or as an auditor or as an accountant? So we had to listen to them and see how we can make it better without, without is the most important, without screwing the data and making the data secured, because as you said, you can lose everything if you don't have data protection. And by everything, I mean everything. Credibility
I think also,
zero.
Yeah, I'm sorry for bothering you, as well as a BDL latest requirement in Lebanon. I heard that the BDL requested all banks to comply with the GDPR in London.
Of course.
That's why that's why. And also I know that there is a banking secrecy as well in Lebanon. You have to take in consideration, the secrecy.
Yes. And since you mentioned the GDPR, sorry if I'm interrupting again.
Yes, I'm
sorry, but we had to, because we deal with companies in Europe and in the Arab countries, we had to make sure that we are compliant with the GDPR, or else we cannot be at the level of service of those companies.
And also let me go to Mr. Bashar Abdel Hadi. Okay, Mr. Bashar, يعني, as a chief technology and innovation officer, and also how did technology expedite the BFSI digital transformation journey from your background and understanding, please?
Thank you, Ibrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone.
Alaikum assalam.
Being in the technology industry for the past 23 years as KuwaitNet, we have, invested in our own technology products, which is related to fintech, and we contributed and empowered a lot of banks and, financial sector services, which is related to insurance companies, related to, for example, banks collecting their money from their customers and such and forth. So there are a lot of banks in the past does not have technology services to collect money, for example, from debitors when it comes to, let's say, credit card customers, for example. So a lot of banks during the pandemic started to develop their own, let's say, services where they can collect money from their customers. And as KuwaitNet, we have a product called KMP, which aggregates payments for customers from different sources into their service offering. So banks started to deploy our KMP product as a SaaS solution to collect money from their customers, for example, and debitors, be it a loan customer or be it a, let's say, an insurance policy, for example. We had also empowered insurance companies to collect and propose services where they can collect money online. So definitely this pandemic, have improved the journey adaptation of digital transformation for these banks and financial sectors, and including insurance company. Today, you see a lot of ads on social media for insurance companies where you can insure your car, for example, in Kuwait, where you can insure your car without taking your car and you going through the usual process. And they can come to your house and do the inspection. So definitely, empowering as a technology company, we empowered a lot of banks to collect their credit card payments from their customers, loan installments from their customers, and the insurance company to introduce insurance policy, be it health insurance, car insurance, or even different kind of insurance, to introduce it, to collect it and sell policies online. In the past, you need to go over there, sign a lot of paperwork to get enrolled into these kind of services. But thank to Allah, these kind of, let's say, pandemics, when they happen, they expedite the adaptation of technology into their daily operations. We have the Public Authority of Civil Information introducing the e-signature, where you can prove that your identity without being there physically. So these kind of services and integration that we do for these government entities or private sector have definitely expedited the journey of these companies to be online and to accept digital transformation way faster. Whatever used to happen in 10 years, I think it happened within 10 months during the pandemic.
Yeah, Mr. Bashar, let me ask you a question, please, because you are based in Kuwait. What exactly the main, if we can say, direction, okay, from the Kuwaiti government itself? They ask any if we can say, party, any institutions, any organization to build this data or to rebuild this data digital transformation, or no?
Yeah, as you has introduced in the beginning of your talk, basically the regulatory has introduced this data classification and cloud first policy. Yes, it was not yet imposed by Citra on the government entities or the private sector, but everybody is aware about that. For example, the Central Bank of Kuwait has a policy of what services can be online and what public information and customer information can be online or can be on cloud or on premise in Kuwait. So these kind of policies actually enforces what kind of services can be publicly available on the cloud. For example, a small example, you cannot have in the past your email service be on cloud. Imagine Office 365 and Google for Work and all these email providers were not allowed to be used by government entities. But with the awareness and how the banks started to accept and the kind of encryption services over there, they started to put public services such as public website for banks on the cloud, DNS services because there is no sensitive data on the cloud, but the customer financial information is still to be on premise. This is when it comes to the sector.
Yeah, but Mr. Bashar, it's a very interesting conversation, by the way. But do you believe that Kuwait is ready for the digital transformation, or still we need to build the infrastructure to enhance the level of control, let's say? What do you think, from your opinion?
Actually, be it they accept or not, it was by force, to be frankly honest with the COVID-19. So a lot of services became online. For consumer services, if you call it, from the government sector. You cannot, for example, get your, let's say, monthly allowance of food from the government. We call it tamween in Kuwait, without having an online payment to renew your card, for example. So Ministry of Commerce and Industry has introduced online payment, and thankfully Kuwaitnet have developed that. So the acceptance and the adaptation, even by the elderly people, they started to accept paying using your mobile and trusting the payment system online. So the government has introduced a lot of services to be online. Some of the services you cannot have it unless accept online. For example, the Central Agency for Information Technology have developed a system called Meta. Meta, basically you book meetings so you can visit these government entities. So if you don't book online, you cannot visit the government.
Sure. It's a business need.
Exactly. So everybody has accepted to book online. They have enabled their civil ID, the national ID, to be online service. They authenticate using mobile SMS. So these kind of services become, if it's not by acceptance, it's by force. You know, the government has introduced. And you know, majority of public interfacing government services becoming online during the past, let's say, 16 months. A lot of government did not have even online presence. Now they have online, you know, processing of services like payment and accepting services. Yes, the policy was not yet published by CITRA, but I think everybody is aware what to put and what not to put. You know, even the pandemic COVID-19, we have two applications. Shlonik, which checks you if you are coming from international, and we have With You, which they brought all Kuwaitis from outside. It's all online systems. So they accepted actually being online and processing their you know, critical information, if I would say, online. If it's not by will, it was by force.
Oh, great. Thank you, Mr. Bashar. It's very fruitful, to be honest, information. We covered the digital transformation from information technology business development by Mr. Nadeem, and now Mr. Bashar, he gave us proof and details about what's exactly the technology and innovation can help us and help the institution, the financial institution, from IT technology perspective. Now, let me ask Mr. Faheem Ali. Mr. Faheem, if you can just first of all introduce yourself to us, and also if you can just tell us what's the main challenges do you believe that, as an expert of fintech and digital transformation, what do you believe that the main challenges do you have from your point of view, please?
Thank you, Ibrahim. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers. They are doing really a great work. You know, these kind of sessions definitely is worth, you know, for the practitioners and also for the financial institutions and across the globe. My name is Faheem Ali, and I'm expert in transformations, fintech, and also, you know, financial inclusion. I worked in actually a number of countries. I have worked in Central Asia, Asia Pacific, and right now I'm in East Africa. Before that, I have also worked in West African countries. So I have a little bit experience of multiple countries and, you know, the way the financial institutions are working on. I think coming on your questions, it's first important that how we understand, and I believe that the main point is actually DevOps, development and operations, which connects with each other. And if you allow me, Ibrahim, I want to share one slide, and then maybe I can talk on that DevOps, that how the DevOps is really, working on this area. Ibrahim, can you please confirm that the slide is moving and is the rise of DevOps mindset?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I can see your screen clearly.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. So this is the rise of DevOps mindset. So guys, the DevOps is actually increasing a lot. It's a new buzzword, and it is actually a many conflicting definitions. Some is saying that this one, some is saying that one, but again, it is rising. From the recent survey, the 80% of around respondents actually said that DevOps it's a somewhat important in the new normal, and we are discussing the new normal now, before and after pandemic, and how to handle the transformation agenda. If you see the slide carefully, it actually starts with plan, develop, operate, and code. Now you cannot say IT is a support, development is a support, and development and IT is actually a business. It's not what it was earlier. So building a new interaction points, and again, human interaction is the foundation of DevOps, because human interaction and the development have to marry together and work together with the continuous development. And as my colleague also said, Bashar and Nadeem, that the new pandemic, as we have faced in before 2020, it was slow, but now it is being forced to transfer the digital transformation. The main point is also keep gathering the feedback from all the stakeholders. And stakeholders, I mean from the bottom to top. It's not only from the management or senior management stakeholders. It's actually from your customers, how the customers are operating, how the customer is behaving. That is also the feedback which is required. Everyone left with a familiar setup, at working from home.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I ask a question here? Because what you are talking about here, raising a very, very important point about senior management, if we can say approval, about the budget issue, about the business needs. So many needs we have in the ground. Okay, if we can say customer needs, it's for competition purposes. You have to enhance your system, you upgrade the infrastructure you have in place. But do you believe that there is another, if we can say, the control in a place should increase it? Let's say now you have to digitalize the system you have, but at the same time you have to build the level of control. And based on that, I think you have to take in consideration cost and benefit. What do you think, or what do you believe as a main recommendation, because you are a subject matter expert for this sector? What do you believe that to fix or to face, to resolve any problem in the future, to compare the cost and the benefit? What's your main recommendation to fix that?
My main recommendation, Ibrahim, thank you first of all for the question. My main recommendation is to collaborate, and connect. Because you see, the control department people, definitely the DevOps people and the control department people will be working together. It's not like we are working, for all of us are working actually for the main point. And continuous innovation, learning, and collaboration of any idea, concept, assumptions, and feedback is more of the challenging on working in isolation earlier what we were working. All these departments or all these people have to work together. Yes, there will be a challenges of budget. Yes, there will be a challenges of agreement. Yes, there will be a challenge of change. Change is not accepted, And as Ibrahim, you will also agree because you are more from the control department side. As much as we have moving out from the work we were doing earlier, and now we are doing more on digital. As much as also we have faced the risk or the cyber securities, or also the cyber crime areas. The cyber crime people are also increasing a lot. Data protection acts are also being connected. I was just doing one session on Friday where we were discussing how RegTech actually come in this point and actually make a policy which works for everyone, not only for the policymaker, but for the everyone. So continuous integration, continuous collaboration is one of the things which need to be worked together. Extend the trust to each other. Otherwise, it will be like in isolation. And the monitoring, as one of my point also in DevOps mindset, if you can see, monitoring is the key one. And that should be starting from the first side, that you are developing and operating everything you are planning, but monitoring should not be forgotten. And again, the customer centricity point of view is also the key area on this DevOps. Ibrahim?
It's perfect, Fahim. Let me ask you another question, Fahim. Yeah, do you believe that there is coordination or communication between all relative parties, from regulator, from business, from, if we can say, from each entities is required, enhanced in order to implement the 100% digitalization of data. What do you think?
It's important, Ibrahim. And as I tell you, the practices which we are doing in Africa, we call it, Pan-African. Again, we are developing in the different isolations that how we actually do. First, we see the trends, what are the digital transformation trends, which we really need to adopt quickly as an African continent. And then again, the government side is also helping. And we have a number of, sessions, which is the government is doing in Africa, I'm talking. And again, the government's new policies, new regulations are coming out very clearly. Forensic team and again the security team is also helping us a lot in this area. And then again, the other departmental like fintech, kind of services, FinServ's kind of services is also, assisting on this one. You see, the transformation trends are actually increasing. It's like going more on a smarter predictive analytics, more from the data analytics what we were using before 2019 or 2018, and starting from 2020 or now, it is more predictive in that one. But the transform customer, centricity is also a very key area. Your product should be also more of the best customer centricity point of view, not only from the point that you are just making a strategy. And also one point, Ibrahim, that earlier, we were making the business strategy now or digital strategy. Now it's no more business and digital strategy. It's actually the strategy. It's actually the company strategy, which digital or the transformation is part of that. If it is not excluded, then again, it is not, the strategy. Advancement of AI, machine learning is actually part of your learning institutions. And again, your way to work, which you are doing. Cyber securities, and again, digital cyber security is also one of the area where people are actually collaborating. And again, everything as a services. You cannot use now again back of the hybrid, cloud systems. And again, you're talking again more on the physical systems and all that. Regulation or RegTech have to come on this point and to make the business processing re-engineering so that everyone can work faster. Otherwise, the fintech and the traditional bank have to collaborate together and work faster on this one also. Brian?
Thanks a lot, Fahim, for what you said. It's really will speak, and also let me just summarize what we discussed during this call or this panel. We said about what's the main benefits we will collect from the digital transformation itself, how to integrate of digital technology, what's the relationship between the technology and also business needs. What's we say that it's for enhancing data collection is required, for efficient management is required, to increase the profit as well, to digitalize the data or transformation data is required. And also it's regulatory requests. As you know, we all speakers say that it's a regulator asked to enhance or to digitalize the data. It's request. And also the relationship between cybersecurity, data protection, and also with the digital transformation. There is so many control factors you have to take in consideration, from data privacy or data protection, data security, information security, also the internal control issues or the IT internal control issues is required. And also from also they say that about the senior management or management approval or acceptance about to pay money about the digital transformation. Now to enhance the culture is required because there is a data governance culture, and as well to take the approval or support from each unit, from senior management, from the regulator, from the IT technologies companies, from everyone is required. That's why culture is important. And as well, we try to discuss the technical needs and support from each unit. Thanks everyone. Thanks our speakers for this fruitful conversation. I hope that we covered a lot of questions, a lot of query. We are ready to answer any queries related. And thank you and have a good day, guys.
Thank you so much there, Mr. Ibrahim. In fact, thanking all the panelists for the insights given on the particular subject. So indeed, there has been quite a few questions that has been placed on the Q&A by the audience, whoever considering the time. In fact, we have our next keynote speaker who has been waiting, so probably we have to move on. But however, the questions will be shared with Mr. Ibrahim and
Sure.
the other panelists.
With my pleasure. With my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks so much there, Mr. Ibrahim, again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.